All right, everybody, here we are for November. Thanks for taking the time to hop on Zoom and connect. And this is kind of taken on a new format. It's like a little more casual, I think. And anyway, we're just always trying out new things. So I think what I would like to be able to start with is talking a little bit about BOGOs. And I just want to say, hey, great BOGO week, everyone. And I really love what doTERRA put together for us. I thought it was like a great grouping and I like their combos. And I have a couple of thoughts for you as I feel like this is not news. BOGO weeks have shifted. I feel like they probably shifted starting after the March or April, right when the pandemic started. And then they've just been different. And I like to remind myself of this each BOGO. And I think it's worth repeating. And when I say BOGOs aren't what they used to be, I think that requires, like, I want to elaborate on that because it sounds a little bit like I'm complaining, maybe not, but I want to like consider that. And I want to normalize a few things. So like, who here remembers when like BOGO week, your volume would like easily double, maybe triple, right? Yes, it was like a thing. This led to like a lot of BOGO ranks. Like, I'm a BOGO diamond, guys. I think that's very fun. It's very energizing. And it also feels kind of hard when you're like only that rank when a BOGO happens. And it also makes BOGOs very intense when there's like that huge explosion, especially a rank explosion. Okay. So that being said, we're looking at like more chill BOGOs in the past couple rounds of BOGOs. And I think there's a few things that I personally am like super grateful for with these ones that aren't like quite as high in volume. And the first thing is I feel like they're less frantic. I don't know. I just like personally enjoy being like, my mindset is to be extra grateful for any extra volume it brings. And because it absolutely affects my paycheck, our paychecks, and it's taken the intensity out, I think. And also I feel like orders and LRPs are more consistent all year long. Like if people go bananas buying BOGOs, like if your volume, like, doubles, triples, that does affect the way they order afterwards. And so this is another reason I'm more grateful for a more conservative BOGO week. So I just think that people are finding the rhythm and realizing that doTERRA's BOGOs come around and they don't have to panic. And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with this one. And you're not thinking like, oh, my numbers are low and nobody else's are. Not that numbers are low. My numbers are different than they've been in the past, because we're all there and I want to normalize that. Okay. So I did just want to say that it really was a fabulous BOGO week. I'm not talking down on it. I would love some feedback and just to be able to talk, if you want to mute yourself, on like the texting we do, the outlines we do, even our Fierce Oiler format. If you want to critique it privately, you can always message me privately too. But maybe we could just take a few minutes to share, like, this is what has been helpful for me. I've tweaked this and it's been helpful, or recommendations on like, maybe what could we do differently? I'm looking at the chat really quick.
I'm probably the only person in this group that is still like, I feel like I've come so far and I've learned how to use Project Broadcast. This was such a different BOGO for me from last time. I'm still kind of struggling with uploading the bundles and getting it exactly right. And Susan and I had a conversation about it, and we both are going to watch like pre-made videos that Project Broadcast offers. But I'm still finding my way through it, but I appreciate what you're doing to make it so that we can use it.
Thanks. And I'm trying to not rule out the non-Project Broadcast users by keeping that Google Doc going. I wonder, oh, interesting. So maybe I should probably just have a Project Broadcast call and we could kind of go through some of these things and do it. I think the difference is that that sometimes people use it looks different on your phone versus on essentially different on your phone or your desktop. And so I want to be like, that's like the only one nuance. But I think once we can hammer that out, you guys are going to be blown away. So I'll make a note to do that. Okay. Maybe after, I don't know if it's after the holidays, but we'll do that. A Project Broadcast call would be so cool.
Yeah, definitely before the next one. Like, we need it before February.
You guys are going to be 2022 will be, if you want it to be, the year of very simple Project Broadcast. Let's get it done. We can totally do that. Did anyone sign up for doTERRA's texts and receive those? Okay, so yeah, so I thought it was really interesting when they were doing that. I was like, oh, I better sign up and see if they're taking my job away. And so for those of you who didn't sign up for it, or like Laura and Lindsay, what did you notice? What were your take? What was your take?
Lindsay and I talked about this, and the text didn't come out until mid to late morning.
Mhm.
So I felt like that wasn't really helpful, because if my customers had to wait until then to receive a text about today's BOGO, they were already at work or doing well into their day. And so I felt that they should be out at like 5 or 6 in the morning, so that when they are up, they can grab that BOGO before BOGO, maybe it's going to sell out that day. And if they don't get to it right away in the morning, it might be later in the evening by the time they have time to sit down and order that BOGO, and it might be too late.
Mhm. Mhm. And people forget. They go to work and they forget. You go ahead, Lindsay.
I also agree. I personally would prefer an early morning text that I can choose to ignore until later in the day when it's right for me, but at least I know it's there. And I think it also helps create the sense of urgency when it's right away in the morning. I feel like as it gets lost in the middle of the everyday texting. Plus, you can always opt out of texting. It gives you that option every time that it came through. So if I felt like it was too early for me, I could just say, I'll catch it in the email or something like that.
Yeah.
So it did ask us at the end of the texting for feedback. And so that was one of the options. So
Thanks, Lauren, Lindsay. Mom, it was in the Canto was the only place you would see it. And I actually didn't post it kind of intentionally in Fierce Oilers because I wasn't ready to buy into it until I experienced it. And I didn't want to undermine what like we've tried to do with the connection piece. I send mine out between 7:50 a.m. and 8. I try and like pick a different, so it looks like it's really me, which it is really me, but I know.
it also didn't have all the info that,
That's the thing.
I wish that it had
No
the info that
nuisance.
was on their website for why they're better together, since that was kind of the theme this year.
Yeah.
I wish it had at least some info, or at least a product information page link or something. It literally just said, here's the BOGO, and that's it.
Yep, just the BOGO, and you could click on it with like a cute little graphic. And so there weren't, I know you can't really see, but it's pretty short. It's literally just what the BOGO is. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And I think that Melissa, what are you thinking?
I'm just wondering, I see Laura Whipperman wrote when she sends hers out, you just told me when yours, was sending mine out at 5:30 in the morning because I've got East Coast people that are like, it's too late. If I don't have it by 6:30, I'm off to work. So you're straddling that line of like irritating the people on the West Coast with a god awful early text, but the East Coast people are like, could you send it earlier? So I was just wondering how all of us Midwesterners, how y'all handle that. So I was curious when you send them out.
Does Project Broadcast, are you allowed to schedule certain people at certain times, or is it all a blast at the same time? How does that work?
Pick your time zone that you're sending it in, but you could tag West Coast, you could tag East Coast, and you could schedule them at different times. And I know, Mom, but you could.
You could. I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. Of course you could do that.
But I mean, I feel like it would give people an opportunity to say like, oh, this isn't a good time. I feel like people would tell you if you're texting too early. I don't know. I would tell people, I'd be like, yeah, maybe you could hold off till 8 o'clock, but I don't. I like my text early in the morning. And then, like I said, I can ignore it if I want to ignore it, but at least it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Laura Hadamio, you said you'd like to see more emotional reasons for the BOGOs. Do you mean that from doTERRA? Do you mean that in Fierce Oilers? A little bit of both. If you could elaborate on that, that would be helpful. I think that's a good point. I wanted to give you guys an update in the text outline. Okay, in the outline that comes out. Yeah, that's true. It probably could go in there. I'm always like, you know what I realize is when people respond to me, I want to be like, not you, like customers respond, I want to be like, you asked the price. Are you reading my text? Like, are you just seeing that it came through and then just like, oh, anyway. So I always struggle on what to send. And the other thing too, is that the longer they are in Project Broadcast, like I can make my outlines long in the Google Doc, but the longer they are in Project Broadcast, the less likely they are to be sent. So I have to be super choosy. But I'm gonna make a note about that for sure. Emotional use.
Why is that? Why does that happen?
Because they get marked as spam. So there's certain indicators you can click the light bulb and see. So I try and make sure my text outlines templates I make for you guys are in the green before I send them to you. So there's certain words you avoid, all capital. We'll go over this. Maybe not.
I think that if you just put the emotional name of the oil, it's not going to really elongate your text. And so you don't have to say a lot about it, but just that name would help, I think.
Boom, done. We are so ready for 2022. Good point, Laura Witt. So I meant to resubscribe back to ECC, Essential Connection Company, who creates the content for Project Broadcast before BOGOs happen. And I never did it. I just created it just never happened. November flew by, but I wanted to give you the feedback that I'm doing this. If Sonia was here, I would let her share. She wasn't super impressed. She subscribed for November and did that. I don't know. Did anybody else have their subscription up and running for November? No. So I just wanted to go back, double back to that. I think my opinion on that might be that it might not have changed hands, but there might be new people in charge of what Essential Connection Company is doing. So I wanted to double back to that because I have talked quite a bit about the content that they create. So I wanted to go back to that. Okay, I think that's really good. I think we're always evolving. I think BOGOs are evolving. So if you think of something or you want to see something different in Fierce Oilers or in the templates or how we do it, just tell me something, okay? Don't keep that tucked away. I have my BOGO outlines to help you wrap up BOGO week. So I've got the bundle code for Project Broadcast that I will put in the chat, and this will also go out into whatever the name of it, the team app when I'm done. So the bundle code is there. They're updated in the Google Docs. So I'll just show you guys really quickly kind of what I did so you have a feel for, because there's a couple different components to it than some of the other ones. So I sent a message to all my people, both current and potential, who received my daily BOGO text, thanking them. And then I gave them the option to reply routine, and I can send them to my routine document. So I like to try and take every single BOGO and put it in BOGO oil, put it in a daily routine to make it, well, sometimes people find new uses, and then I also put doTERRA's ebook in there as well when it goes out to response. And I also like to tag my people who say I'm going to watch on Facebook and reach back out to them. So I included that outline for people who chose to follow along over on Fierce Oilers. So those outlines are all there for you, and hopefully that's helpful. I think that hopefully we're getting good traction. Okay, another request button. Can you put it in a second? Oh, because it's hard to copy and paste. No, that's a good point. I think I can totally do that. That's a good reminder, Laura. Thank you. Okay, BOGO wrap up done. Are we all good on that?
Before we hang up, can
Oh,
we?
we're not hanging up. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, but I mean, while we're on this topic, when you're done with everything, do you think that we can talk about a date and a time that works for everyone here to do the call?
Yeah, let's make sure we schedule that. Now what I want to kind of just do in just a little bit of time remaining here is look at like December. You know, I realize I say this, you know, as we head into a month with a different cadence, and I know it's the holidays and all different things going on, but I thought it was helpful last time as we looked at November to brainstorm like the different things that we could be doing. We talked about what's working for each one of us and things like that. So I've got another Google Doc pulled up. I realize that I have like a lot of my own ideas in this, but that's not really like, it can be whatever. And so I kind of chunked it up into different things, like ideas for in December, and also like doTERRA's happenings, the things that I really would assume that doTERRA is going to be doing. And so just some different ideas, and based on like your capacity and your busyness in this month, I was like, what if you just made it a goal or a challenge for yourself to gift 2 or 3 or 1 Symphony of Self for the month of December. So I put an outline there, you know, in the spirit of giving, I wanted to give some oil layering sessions. I narrowed it down. You could narrow it down to what you want. I'm offering a couple different options like digestive support, hormone, inflammatory, and even one for emotional support. Would you like to choose one to receive as a gift from me? It takes about 15 minutes and I can even come to you. And so even if you made like the challenge, yeah, like I said, to give that to one person. Also, always have holiday joy and holiday peace on you at all times. I think we could do like a really funny thing where we like videoed like people like smelling it, whatever, just like make it fun, ask people to smell it and to be like, I need to know what the favorite is. I'm like keeping a tally. Okay, you pick one. We're doing a contest. I'd show up on the doorstep of current customers, let them smell, make diffuser bombs, right? To keep with you if you want to be like, oh, here's your holiday joy to take home with you then. Like you could have a lot of fun with just holiday joy and holiday peace. You're going to be everywhere. Keep a tally all month long of what people liked. It could be fun. Saturday CE this month is just December 4th and the 11th. And then the other Saturdays are off as we rejuvenate for the new year. If you have something that you really want to hop on and share or do, or you'd like by all means go for it. If you want to hop on and do a fun Q&A, like by all means do it. But right now that's just open on the schedule.
Amy, can you clarify a diffuser bomb for Laura J?
Yes, in those little oil packets, you need some that you seal them with your flat iron or your curling iron. I just put a couple, like 1 to 2 drops of an oil in there, and then it's only a stamp to mail them if you have to mail them. Holiday card, don't forget to send even just a text virtually or something to your customers. And then a holiday make and take. So my mom and I are planning a more involved one. We've had a little bit of a run at it. But I think there's varying levels of like intensity and involvement on a make and take. You could order supplies you need. We got like the kit from Oil Life. You could use what you have. You could pull out some of your things and just have a ladies shopping night with a bottle of wine and some peppermint brownies and holiday joy diffusing. So I don't think that has to be something fancy, but I don't think that don't rule that out, even if you're like, I don't know if I'm totally prepared for that, because it could just be a fun little thing.
I'm just going to say, when we did the event in November, the little night, we had like a $5 and a $10 bin. We went through all of the things that we've accumulated, right? All of the little convention tchotchkes we've picked up, and we had them in the bins, and it was amazing. We made over $100 doing that, $5 at a time, $10 at a time. People really, really wanted them. So even if you go through your things.
And I feel like Laura and Lindsay would have been so proud because they weren't necessarily like oils. They were things to help you use your oils. Don't I know? Aren't you so pleased with me? I'm like, pat myself on the back. And so, I think that could be a fun way to do it, just to go through. Things do accumulate.
Sometime
we
I want to
want-
have a really fun blowout of gently used diffusers.
Oh, I don't
Or
have mine. They're all
diffusers that
going. They're either going.
I have a shelf of diffusers that are gently used or brand new that have never been opened that are no longer available for sale.
Oh, I'm coming shopping at your place. Mine are either in the garbage because they're going, "Arr," and they're dead and they're out of warranty. Like they're done. I run them till they die.
The pedal goes, whoa, it goes up and down.
I run them till they die. Does anybody have any other ideas? Sorry, that was a lot of ideas. Apparently I was on a roll this afternoon. Does that offer some inspiration, big and small? What do you guys think about some of those?
Amy, are you sharing this document in the team app?
I will.
Okay.
And yes, Lindsay has something really fun to share too. So I'm going to turn it over to her in just 1 second.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Are you gonna, you're not done with this doc though. Why don't you finish?
I just wanted to touch base on what I think doTERRA's bringing down the pipeline, which is free frankincense. And so I wondered what people's opinions were. We've done in the past, like a pretty simple, like collaborate and share in Fierce Oilers about frankincense, even just like 5 days of it or however many days people sign up for and do a post. Is there a different way we want to look at that? I do think it's good to talk about frankincense on some level. And I do think collaboration is good, but I, of course, would value feedback on that and see what people think.
I'm kind of inspired to carrying around my frankincense, like you were talking about the holiday joy and the holiday peace. And I was somewhere recently and I put a drop of frankincense on everybody's hands and they were just all in awe. They'd never smelled it.
I mean, as leaders, we could commit. I mean, I don't know. I'm taking our bottle with us and snapping a picture, like giving a drop to somebody. And even if it was just a picture of them getting the drop in their hands, you know what I mean? That we're out dropping frankincense on people throughout the month.
Because it's the season, do you want to do a spin and do something with frankincense and myrrh? Like have that, like which one do people prefer? and have little samples of that.
I said, hopefully everyone has a drop a top for their MRR, so it doesn't take 8 days. Just kidding. Could you imagine me like,
Did you see Wendy's comment? She was just called from middle school and asked for 65 rollers to give to the staff for Christmas. So if you know your administrator at schools, ask them if they have gift ideas for their staff. Did you tell them $10,000 to make those?
They did say they'd pay me $5 a roller. Like that, they were given money to give, like they're the person that buys all of the
That's so
staff's Christmas
exciting.
gifts. And so she was like, hey, would you want to come up with something? And I texted Em and I was like, what am I getting myself into? Oh my gosh. And Em was like, duh, of course I'll help you.
Oh, that's so fun.
So yeah, so I'm gonna put in I'm gonna make up a little so we decided to do a On Guard roller for the immunity blend because it can be used for men and women. But then to make a really small little note that says what On Guard is, how best to use it, where to roll it. But then also put my card in there as well. So possibilities.
I had a question for Brenda, our beloved upline, Wendy, along that same line of giving out things. And she asked me what I was going to have them, what was the offer to them if they got back to me, right? So she said, on your little card, make sure you have something that is like, text me back, text me the word, I don't know, whatever, and I will give you 50% off an oil layering technique. So like, see if you can incentivize them getting back to you. And you could set up, you give them your phone number for Project Broadcast, set it up like a bundle, right? And when they send that word back, all that information goes automatically out to them.
I hereby make a motion for wannabe Wendy is to make it official after that. Does she got that? You're here. All in favor, say aye. No, that's awesome, Wendy. I put those in there too. So for the frankincense, let's keep thinking on it. I don't know that we necessarily came to any conclusions, but let's do something together in December for frankincense. Okay, good. We've agreed on that. And then don't forget that it's the second wave of holiday products. If you have a holiday product that you've been enjoying, would you take a picture of yourself with it and put it up in the group or do something funny with it? I think that would be really great. So I wanted to remind you that second wave is coming. Okay.
So Melissa, just wanted to say, remind you about the diffusing call, diffusing for days. Were you going to talk about the name?
I didn't say anything about, I was reading a message. I haven't said anything about diffusing for days. Talk about it.
I'm super excited about that call. We've been getting a lot of feedback from people on diffusing, and I didn't even like put together when I did that like week-long thing about cleaning your diffuser. Just the thing, we had a lot of interaction on that and a lot of people talking to us about it. And I'm excited for that call because we've already decided on the giveaways. Of course, we're always grateful for any giveaways you can donate. We don't ever want to turn that away. I just wanted to let you know that I have the whole set of Citrus Bloom products that we got maybe, I don't know, last spring, I think. So I have the whole like 9 pieces of it, and we're just going to break that up and give that away as a raffle or as the giveaways for that call. So it kind of takes a little bit of pressure off. If you're feeling like you want to maybe make up what Amy calls diffuser bombs, or just those little these things to mail out, you could make, if people wanted to make a few of these and just then we could do a drawing for 2 or 3 at a time, and people could just, I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say?
Diffuser bombs would be fun. If you hadn't had the Citrus Bloom, I would have, something fun with that for sure.
So anyway, I'm super excited about that call. It'll be light and fun and interactive, and be inviting your people and thinking about it. We've had super great registration for those calls. We've been in the 60s to the 80s for a few months here. So people are really interested in those calls, and we're excited to offer them to people. So thanks for participating.
Wendy, those sample packs are from Oil Life.
Sonia taught me that they're on Amazon now. They're on Amazon, free shipping.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Lindsay King and she's gonna share with us. So Lindsay, thank you for waiting. Sorry, here she goes.
No worries. All right, let's see if I can share my screen correctly.
I made you co-host, so you should be good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So I was going to do, I know that there was such a great response for challenges happening in Fierce Oilers. And so I was trying to think of gifts for family members, friends, loved ones, for teammates, for possible customers. And so I kind of combined the two, and I planned an entire year of oil challenges. And so let me stop sharing for a second. Stop sharing. So I grabbed a couple different options depending on if I'm sending these items to people as a gift versus them asking for a sample. But I could either use my keychain or a nice boxed gift of samples, or the foil packets. So depending if I'm sending all of the oils, some of the oils, that's kind of would be my deciding factor, or if people are asking me for samples. Let me go back to sharing. Okay, so I did pull up the little boxes on Aroma Tools are $5 each. If you order 100, they're $4 each. On Oil Life, you can get the sample little pouches. You get 100 of them for $23. And on doTERRA, you can get the keychain for $8.50. Also on Aroma Tools, you can get the pouches for $6.65. So it depends on what you're looking for. But then what I did was, you can see the oils there in the intention picture. Those are my oils for the entire year. And I strategically picked oils that are not commonly in like the top 10, so that it would branch people out from using the top 10 oils for the challenge. But I also wanted to be very mindful of pocketbooks. And so all of these are averaging in like the $15 to $25 range for the most part. So it'd be very easy for them to add a monthly challenge onto one of their orders, or for that to just be their order, depending on, like I said, the person that you're gifting or encouraging to participate in the challenge. So this would be very adaptable, depending on if they want to do a week-long challenge, a month-long challenge, if they want to do it with people. I tried to focus emotionally and physically what each oil highlights were, and 2 ideas that they can challenge themselves to use it as. So I went through each month. Let me pull it up. And you can see I picked an oil for that month. I try to go with kind of where people are mentally or physically in that particular time of year. I try to make things that were broad spectrum for males and females, for emotionally and physically, and types of uses that they would have. I tried to make it super simple for them. And I just went through each month showing, so you can see I had, let's see, Adaptive, Arise, Balance, Calmer, Brave, Bergamo, Rescuer, Arbor Vitae, Tamer, Past Tense, Tangerine, Douglas Fir. And then just thanking them, I kind of summed up all of the oils that we went through. So I was going to, like I said, gift these to people. I was going to send out a text and just say, would you like to join my 2022 Oil Challenge of the Month Club? Or just, like I said, if I was gifting it, I would invite them to it. I can share this slideshow with them so that they can have it on their phone as an easy reminder of what they were doing. They can choose a single month, they can do the entire year. But I wanted to, like I said, kind of marry the idea of a challenge and broadening the horizon of the oils that they have and that they use daily. I feel like all of these could be daily used oils, and gifting as well. So I'm happy to share that if any of you guys want to do that. I was going to put a post on Fierce Oilers this weekend so that they could prepare for the January January challenge by getting Adaptive. If they don't already have it, they would have all of December to do that. Or for me, having time to send it to them, depending on where we're at.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, round of applause. First of all, to Lindsay for being like willing to share this genius with us, right? And share the resources and materials that she worked hard on. Laura Hadamia wants to know, are you gifting the entire year?
To people that yes, I am. Not to everybody. Majority of people, no. Majority of people, I would send like 1 month and just say, I really thought of you during this month. Here's a sample of the oil. I'd love you to participate as much or as little as you'd like. And then I would send them like that particular month. And then I would say, if you'd like to join us for the other monthly challenge club, let me know.
Lindsay and I talked about this, it's probably a couple weeks ago. She called me and told me about her idea. And I think that, what was I trying to say? Oh, I think the possibilities are kind of endless. Like, I think that these could be project broadcast templates that are, in a bundle code that could be sent out to people, right? Depending on how you want to disseminate the information. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I think that the concept is really good. And I told Lindsay to just like go at it and post however she wants in Fierce Oilers. I don't have any plans for the 5-day quarterly challenges right now in 2022, whatever year is coming. And so I thought it was like a really great fresh take on it. And so there's her genius.
I was going to add two things that on the last slide, I was going to share it with anybody who did 1 month or multiple months, but the thank you where, again, I would send it if they just did a single month challenge or if they wanted to do all the months challenge, but I would send it each time that I sent out the reminder of that month. And it encourages them to post on Fierce Oilers or on Facebook, or send me a text so that I can share comments and feedback that they had about what they thought about the challenge. And I was going to do some sort of drawing like Melissa had said, with like little tchotchkes that I have received, little freebies and stuff. So.
Awesome. Lindsay, where do you want to be able to put that information that you like? Do you want to send it to me and I can put it in the team app? What's like the best, is that okay?
Yeah, I don't remember, like if I send it to you, are people able to use it? Can they see it?
Oh, go ahead. If you send me the Google link that is like I would send me view only, and I'll make its own post in the team app of like Lindsay's, challenge of the month club and, intention program, and it will live there then.
Okay, yeah, if people can access it that way, then that's great. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So any other questions for Lindsay? If not, I think we'll talk about when people might want to do a project broadcast call. Thank you, Lindsay, for your generosity in that.
Happy to.
Creative generosity. So I'm assuming sometime in December, and I'm assuming evening or early January, Laura Whipperman says. I'm fine with early January. Is that going to like kill anyone? I can't imagine that we're scheduling a ton out in December. Does that put a kink in anyone's plan?
Early January sounds great.
I have to go get my new calendar. so that first week of January.
I could do something after the 4th.
Okay, what about like an evening on what about the 6th?
Yep.
That works for me.
Okay, January 6th. Should we just say 8? Okay. Calling it a project broadcast training. January 6th at 8. Okay, so we've got on Thursdays we have Alana. Susan, is 8 late enough or no?
No, we are 6:45 to 8:30.
6:45 to 8:30.
I mean, if you record it, I can watch it afterwards.
Yeah, that could work. Maybe not as helpful for you.
No, because I mean, I really would like to hear this. And one note is the difference between campaigns and what do you call them?
Bundles.
Bundles, yeah. So I mean, I'm watching my videos, but just for your notes when you're creating something.
I feel like
Um,
there are a couple of us, like Laura, Jay, and I would, or Wendy. Wendy might get it entirely, but some of us are going to be doing things in December where we could be using this better.
Well, do you want me to just give 2 options then? You
Maybe
guys,
I'm the only one that doesn't want to wait until January. I mean, I need to
Oh, that's
learn
okay.
it. It takes a while.
this is
I'm-
beyond my job description. Okay, hold on.
Susan, is anybody else up for trying
Yeah,
it?
Amy,
I'm
how
agreement. I just
realistic would it be? Like, how long do you think it takes to do like the training and then inputting everything? How long would you say?
Okay, so yeah, this is the other thing too. People are probably at different. So if you want me to help you get your context, I mean, if we're looking at all the way of like setting it up and getting your context in, I mean, I think we could be like 30 to 45 minutes. Probably, because like, do you want me to show you a step and then you be able to do it, I guess?
So your training was going to be once you set it up and put it in your context.
I
moving
could scale it all the way back though and start at the beginning. I mean, there's no shame in that. We could do like a beginner's.
I might be the
But
only one at that level.
But you know what? There's some videos. I can show you. Sonia sent me the area in our thing that has videos for basic stuff like that, and they're like 17 minutes. They're perfect. I can send you that.
Is it one, do you know, Susan, that talks specifically about getting your doTERRA contacts? Because I do think Project Broadcast has helpful videos. Do you know? by
No,
chance?
it's not your doTERRA contacts in particular.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's your contacts. What I mean, is there?
I think just sometimes getting your detailed genealogy synced up with the exact columns. I help Laura Whipperman with it, which is like, if anybody knows Laura Whipperman, that's like really significant that I help Laura Whipperman with it. Like that's laughable, actually. I almost burst out. No, I love Laura Whip, but that's like saying something. Because she's very tech savvy.
I think just the way that you have to manipulate your columns in your detailed genealogy in order to put the right amount of information and only the information that you want into Project Broadcast. That is where I really drew from Amy. And I had not thought about how I could do that. It just didn't occur to me. So I think there's one, watching Project Broadcast's version of how to upload your contacts did not help me because of that.
So then I don't know what I don't know. So yeah, I need to be on that.
Laura Jaramillo uploaded hers and she uploaded them, like she did it on her own, which I helped her with some of it at the end, but it was like, hey Bomb, it's Amy, every time she scheduled a text to go out, because it was like, things you don't know.
Really embarrassing.
Oh,
You know what? I had to do mine by hand. I stayed up all night. I told Laura J, I was up all night and I retyped all my things in by hand because I just actually ended up being a good thing for me because there was a lot in my back office with the business that my size is that I didn't want to transfer in. I would have had to have gone in and taken out a lot.
So the truth of it is if I did one in December, I realize this is counterintuitive, but I would be looking at either the week of the 13th or the week of the 20th, because actually early December might put me in my grave. It's very intense for me. And so, and I cannot do a Wednesday night. I can tell you that Wednesday nights are off.
The other thing, I think Brenda would be willing. She's an excellent trainer on this. And I think she would be willing to do one, if you did like, if we needed to do like a 101 and then a more advanced for like the difference between a bundle and a campaign and how to use the bundle to its fullest, we might be able to divide and conquer with Brenda.
Yeah.
I
What
like
if-
having the 2 different levels too, because I feel like I'm coming in at a different level than you guys.
Are we able to look at Tuesday, the 14th?
That works for me.
Okay.
As in December.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that one on there and I'm just gonna call it 101. But that doesn't mean that we can't cover, we'll start at the very beginning there. But that doesn't mean that we can't go beyond that. Okay. And then
What time, Amy?
Oh, go ahead.
8:00.
8.
8 o'clock.
I'm totally keeping January on the calendar. We'll just hit it in a couple different ways, and we'll probably learn a lot when we go through it in December. Like how to do this. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm going to put everything that we talked about in on one single update in the team app. Okay, so the links to relink the Google Docs to all the outlines and all the things that will be there, and then will be a separate then post with all of Lindsay King's information on what she's created. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Thank you again for taking the time. Let's just wrap up November and have a fun December. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Do we want to do this in December? So I know we've scheduled project broadcast, trainings. Do we want to collaborate, or are we going to wait until early January to do this? I was looking realistically at December 20th in the evening, if we wanted to do something to connect, or would we rather wait until January? I would really like to hear what people think.
There's also the 27th.
Do you mean like a Fierce Leaders call?
Like this.
January.
I'm better with it. I'll be in Hawaii on the 27th.
Mhm.
So the
Um,
20th is good for me.
You're willing to do December. Lindsay, are you thinking January or December?
January.
January. Okay. Was there a vote in the chat? Guys, we're getting nothing. We're getting
I'm not
crickets.
doing I'm good with the 20th. There isn't anything else I'm doing on a Monday night. Except hanging with you gals.
Why don't
Oh, I see in the chat. Susan. would-
yeah, I see January. I think we should wait until January. I think in January we'll get to talk. I planned well. We'll get to talk a little bit about what's coming forward. I think we'll know more. I think I'm like ready to my mom and I are hoping to, so again, if you have things to weigh in, talk about like monthly topics, what's going to be coming down the pipeline in some of those regards in 2022, which is obviously all up for conversation. So if you have something that you want to send our way, send it. And then I think we'll all have a little time to digest that and then convene in January. So it will probably be a call earlier in January. I know sometimes we wait till the end of the month, but we just move I keep you guessing. That's part of the fun.
Can we do Monday the 3rd? I mean, then if we wait till the 10th, we're like. Mhm.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there. There's never going to be like a time that works for everybody,
I know.
and Laura offered to take us all to Hawaii with her.
It's true.
I mean, I can show up on the call and from Hawaii. I'll still be in Hawaii on the 3rd. So
Okay, so let's make us still be away.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
be catching a recording on the 3rd.
Our Monday nights are just hard for you, aren't they, Linz?
No, but it's Grayson's birthday on the 3rd.
Grayson's birthday. Okay. Okay, I put it down for the 3rd and we'll just go from there. So we've got a lot of good stuff scheduled and we'll just keep in touch on it all, okay? All right. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.